Hi there. In this video, we'll be covering how to become a ghostwriter. It's one thing to write for yourself in your voice. It's another thing entirely to write for other people in their voice. By the end of this video, you will learn the power of writing and editing experience, what it means to sound like another writer, and some tips for getting your first ghostwriting opportunities. These are tips that I wish I knew when I first started ghostwriting. And stay tuned until the end of the video for a free opportunity I really think you're going to enjoy. Let's dive in. As a writer, it's so important to find your own voice. I feel like a writing voice is like a fingerprint. It's very unique to ourselves. It's something that only really we can capture. At least that's what I thought initially. You know, as a writer myself, I thought that this is something that can't be replicated. And then I found out about book ghostwriting. I made the jump to book ghostwriting from news, from journalism. I spent a decade plus in the newsroom. I worked in New York City newsrooms and wanted to pull back and make a career change. And I thought that book ghostwriting would be a great opportunity because it relied on a lot of the skills that I had leaned on and nurtured and worked on as a journalist, namely editing and writing every day, of writing on deadline, of using quotes and massaging other people's writing to make it sound like them, even if there were changes happening. So it was really exciting for me to take that leap, but it took some time. I remember some of my early projects, I sounded too much like myself. I sounded too much like my voice, even when I was writing for other people. And the way that I worked through that really was by leaning on the author's voice that I was working with, the ghostwriting client. When I was working with somebody, I would record their conversations and upload those recordings into automatic transcription websites like Otter or Rev. There's so many different AI tools that are available to us now that can automatically transcribe audio. And it's so powerful to be able to take that audio and shape it into chapters. And it's so empowering to take that audio and shape it into text and into chapters and ultimately build the book foundation on the other person's words. You really want to lean on the other person's vocal cadence and style and their special sayings. You really want to sound like them and listen to them. I love being on conversations with my ghostwriting clients and just talking and just hearing them talk and kind of getting their voice down, getting an understanding of how they sound and getting that onto the page. One of the ways that I've been able to become sharper as a ghostwriter is by continuing to write and continuing to read. I'm constantly consuming text and information. I'm constantly writing. The more that I can write as other people, the more that I can feel comfortable writing in other people's voices, it just escalates my ability to adapt to other clients, to other ghostwriting clients, to other authors that I'm trying to work with. There was one project in particular that was incredibly challenging, and it involved a father and a son. The father had started working on the book, and now the son was working on the book. And I was writing for two different people in the same book, which was a challenge. It was tough. It was really, really difficult to juggle those things, and ultimately, I kind of had to work on one section, pull back, and then work on the other section, kind of distance myself from both of them in order to be able to work on one at a time and then shift gears to the other. It's great to feel empowered as a ghostwriter to write for other people, and the way that you can feel more comfortable doing is to keep doing it, keep working at it. Write with other people, edit with other people, read other people's work and see what they're doing, see what they sound like. It's great to be able to be this hidden hand guiding the project forward. That's why they call it ghostwriting. You're a ghost, you're hidden, you're in the background. Sometimes you're not in the background, but most of the time you are. And you're ultimately this hidden hand guiding the project forward. But it's awesome when you can get to a point where the client doesn't actually know which section they wrote and which section you wrote. That everything that you wrote sounds so much like them that they're just transfixed by it. I love that feeling and I love getting there, but it takes time. When I first started as a ghostwriter, I didn't feel quite confident pitching myself. I didn't feel confident in my abilities. Maybe it was imposter syndrome. Maybe it was the fact that I was still learning my skills. I wasn't quite there yet. And a lot of times I ended up working through other companies, through ghostwriting companies, that then would supply me with leads. And I took so many low-paying projects. These are projects that paid $6,000 to $10,000, sometimes even less than that, just because I wanted to work on projects. And I thought, the more I can take on, the better I'm going to be. But you're going to burn yourself out. You're going to burn yourself out if you take a lot of low-paying projects. And ultimately, a lot of these companies will shortchange you. The client might be spending $25,000, $50,000, $75,000 to the company, and you're getting 10 to 20% of that for ghostwriting the book, which is a problem. Ultimately, if you're taking projects at that low rate, it means you have to stack multiple projects on top of each other in order to be able to sustain this, in order to make this a career. You're better off reaching out to people within your network, reaching out to people in your local area, seeing if they're interested in writing a book, reaching out to your connections and seeing if A, there's anybody that people know that is interested in writing a book, or B, if there's anybody you know in your network who wants to write a book. It's been so interesting for me to build my network and market myself on LinkedIn or YouTube and just put my message out there. And I will have people that used to work with me or previous clients who will reach out, and they know somebody who wants to write a book or wants to write an email or wants to write an essay or LinkedIn post or something else. It's awesome to be able to lean on the existing relationships you have in building trust, because ultimately ghostwriting is an element of trust. You want to be able to build trust, and you want to work with people who trust you. And it's a great way to do so by reaching out to your network, by connecting with people, and by believing in yourself. Because ultimately, over time, you're going to get really good at this if you stick with it. The coolest thing for me as a ghostwriter is unlocking my purpose. For a long time, I thought that my purpose was journalism and informing people of things. And it's so empowering and so awesome to be able to help people bring their stories forward and to finish the projects that they never thought they'd be able to finish. I work with people who have been stuck on a project for 5, 10, 15 years, and we're able to finish it in 6 months or 9 months. I've been able to unlock elements of people's story and help them find peace and closure and move forward with their life, and ultimately empower others with their story. It's such an awesome feeling, and it's so great to be able to connect my talents with my purpose and to help people. There's a skill inside of you. There's an awesome power inside of you, and you could do so much good in the world by being able to help people share their message, because ultimately so many people are going to read these books and learn from them. So this is really an opportunity to connect deeply with people that you work with, to help them guide their story forward in clarity, and to connect with your inner purpose. And it's such an awesome thing, and I wish you all the best of luck on your ghostwriting journey. If you want to learn more about how to become a ghostwriter, you'll definitely want to watch another video. I'll link to it on the screen. It's called How to Publish a Book. In that video, I cover all the elements of the book publishing process, from writing, editing, design, marketing, everything else. There's a lot of things to encounter and think about. I cram them into one video just to make it easy for you to see all of the elements of book publishing. And if you're interested in getting into ghostwriting, these are the things that people are going to ask you about, so you want to be informed on all of these topics. Remember, a good book can change your life. I'm Dan Good. Thanks for watching.